me, Domino SNK.
CJ So Slow.
cjc1922.
Smash and Crash.
And today we're talking about our favorite rapping dog, Parappa. There's an upcoming patch in the fall worked by Sony Santa Monica, and we're here to discuss where our favorite two-dimensional dog stands. So going off of that, so can one of you two please go into like where this character stands in the tier list, and his overall general gameplay, as well as where any specific matchups that you feel that you should be pointed out, one's in his favor or one's completely against him.
Sure. So, right now, Parappa's high mid-tier, possibly low high tier. So he's pretty good, and he's really well balanced. As far as his game goes, he focuses a lot on tricks with his uppercut, because that uppercut's just really fast starting, and it can lead to deadly combos, AP burst, and sometimes kill confirms. As with the boombox camping, that's
more against zoners.
Yeah, that's more against zoners.
It's to put pressure on them.
Yeah, and it's also good against if you put the close range people out of the really far away. If you put them on the other side of the field, you use boombox. You want them to come to you instead of you going to them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also use boombox to set up traps for wall kill confirms, or throws, resets, anything really.
Okay. Segueing from that, so what are some matchups where Parappa does incredibly well in, and ones where he's just complete crushed by paper?
I think that some of the really good matchups would probably be the low tier characters. I would say he does well against Sweet Tooth. He does pretty good against Radic. He does good against Jack. He'll do good against Toro. And for the most part on low tiers, he can do pretty well against the high tier characters too. With Sly, it's 6-4 in Parappa's favor. And with Raiden, it's actually even.
Oh yeah, this is the surprise matchup.
Yeah, I know. It's really surprising how well Parappa can do against Raiden.
Okay.
As far as bad matchups go, characters that can out-zone or out-camp Parappa, like Sackboy for example, or characters with really good range like Ratchet can annihilate them. Also, people who can punish really easily, like Kratos and possibly Isaac.
So he gets beaten out by basically any character who can sort of mid-range faster than him, correct?
Yeah,
pretty much.
And Cold too. Don't forget about Cole.
Yeah, Cole.
Well, good Cole is pretty good, so... Okay.
Definitely.
Segueing with that, CJ, take it away.
So, going through his move list, how could he fix his faults without making him too OP? Let's start with his square attacks.
Okay, so 1,000 punches, for some odd reason, it gives you 43 AP, which I feel doesn't make any sense. I feel they should tone it down to 40 instead.
Not 30, or
that move isn't something you'd combo into. It's something you'd finish off with, and you can't really combo into it too much unless you have a wall.
Right.
So it's pretty useless.
So what? Just tone it down by 3 AP?
Yeah,
just make more sense. Because why 43? Just make it 40.
43 seems like a.
And the same thing goes with his aerial down square where he does 1,000 kicks. It's 39. Why not just bring up to 40 as well?
Yeah, I mean, 1,000 kicks gives you 39 AP, and why couldn't they just bring it up one more? Because sometimes I'll do combos that give you 99 AP, and I feel that's stupid. It just needs 1 AP.
So bring the AP up 1 for the 1,000 kicks, and then bring it down 3 AP for the 1,000 punches, pretty much.
Yeah. As for down square, the slide move, I think they should bring back the down square into side square. I feel
took that out after the.
It made
the
recent patch 1.1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that's really stupid. I don't know why they took it out. I know he has a lot of combo potential even without it, but putting it back in, it just makes sense.
Taking it out took out a lot of his combos too.
Yes, definitely.
So it just basically limited him to literally just doing uppercuts.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But doesn't uppercut still have more usability over down square though? So like, wouldn't uppercut still overshadow down like the down square, the slide kick? Like there wouldn't be much reason to do a more unsafe version of the uppercut that gets less reward.
I was just about to get into uppercut after we finish. Okay, I'll talk about the short version first. So the short version ultimately is fine as it is. I really don't see any need to change it. They could give it faster startup, but you know it's not entirely necessary. But as for the long version, they need to increase the startup on that so bad. At least make it so that people can just knock it down. Because right now it's just stupid. Because I can just wake up uppercut and it just works every time. If they hit me, it trades. And then I can just get up and, you know, do like a boombox or something like that. And if I get hit with like a light enough attack, I can just kill off of that trade.
Right. So basically, it has the same problem as like Cole's up
Ice
glacier
jump.
attack, where it automatically starts up. There's no way to punish it. It's perfectly safe.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there was another change I kind of thought of for it. Like, if you do the uppercut, you can't jump cancel out of it.
Wait, you can jump cancel it?
Yeah, you can jump cancel it.
Why?
That's ridiculous.
If any of you ever watch me, I do it all the time.
I didn't notice that was a jump cancel. I thought it was just his recovery.
No,
Right.
it's a jump cancel.
Why?
You can
Nerf,
cancel
please.
You can cancel everything except up the supers. So you can cancel the long uppercut into any move except the super.
I'm Poochie, the rapping dog.
I know. So I was thinking like just take away the jump cancel because that would tone things down a lot.
Well, I know
Because-
some people have made suggestions, such as myself. Like I said, with same thing with Cole. You think that's like being able to grab, like the frames where it comes off the ground should be higher. Like not the hit frames, but where they're counted as off the ground. Because then grabbing it would make it, a nice counter to it, as opposed to just blocking. And
It's really hard to balance a move like that.
I'd want to treat it like kind of like Zeus's up his up square. How he does the uppercut. Basically, he's treated as on the ground for a long time with that one. It makes grabbing a good counter to it. Whereas it's a very safe move otherwise because it comes out very fast. The hit frames, but he can be grabbed.
Yeah, that's true. And also, like, if I know some people don't know this, but the long version of the uppercut has a faster startup than the shorter version.
Kind of makes no sense.
Wouldn't you? Would you feel that swapping the two like recoveries make more sense? Like
definitely.
the shorter one has less recovery since it's shorter to the ground, and the long one has more since it's more commitment. Like akin to Ryu's street Shoryukens, or for instance.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, like I said, it's somewhat hard to balance it, but there are ways to balance it.
Is short uppercut even used reasonably at this point? In all honesty, like
You use it for combos, but that's about it.
so it's just combo filler.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very good for combos, but as a startup attack, there's no point in doing it versus the.
Yeah, it's
as
really
a startup move. No, it's not really that well. It's not really that good.
No. Switching the two. There was another idea I had. You could possibly nerf the height of it, because I know it's stupidly high.
But would adjusting the height just ruin some of his combos though?
No, I thought with the way that brings the opponent up, maybe shorten that as well.
But don't you think that'd be able to make him able to combo Windows level 1?
No, it definitely won't. Height-wise, I would say up to Zeus's head.
How high did they go up to now? Like, how far above Zeus's head?
If you stack two Zeuses, maybe 2.5.
Zeus on Zeus.
This is our measuring stick.
So, to reiterate, you could switch the startups on both uppercuts, make the long one start up slower, and the short one start up faster. You could increase the startup on the long one as well. You could also make it so that they're still grounded after part of the uppercut, so people can just throw them out. Yeah, something like that would be fine. I'm fine with that. The last idea is to not make a jump cancel move, which then would buff some other stuff.
I mean, well, would you buff it if it was just the uppercut that wasn't jump cancelable?
If it wasn't jump cancelable, I would change like 2 moves and that's it.
Just curious, what would those 2 moves be?
His up triangle and his up circle.
Well, is there anything more on the square moves that you want to talk about, or is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, you said no jump canceling, but like, is that just for the high uppercut or the low one as well?
The high one. Just the high one.
Okay.
Yeah. The low one's fine.
Okay.
And is there anything else you guys want to say on the square moves then, before we go into triangle?
Let's see here. I think side square is fine. Ground side square is fine as it is. Air side square is fine as it is. Air uppercut, like the one where what he does in the air, possibly add a better horizontal hitbox.
Yeah,
because it's
more wide range there.
Yeah, because it's really stupid.
Because you have to be like extremely close to hit that second uppercut if you're using it in the air.
Yeah. Okay, so air down square there's another thing with it. Basically, the recovery is just way too good. Because if I do down square if they block down square, I can do up square. They can't do anything about it.
So they can just keep looping down square to up square to down square?
If they just hold block, yes. So just increase the recovery on it, on block.
Yeah.
Alright, well then, let's go into the triangle moves then.
Okay, so side triangle. That move right now, its only use is to neutralize traps.
Right.
I think, like, in order to make it a little more viable, if someone gets hit, it kind of does like a little ground bounce. It'd be like a startup thing. You wouldn't combo into it at all.
I see.
Just to give it a little more viability, because even then you can't. Even though neutralizes traps, you can't neutralize all of them. Like Isaac's Mind, you can't do it with.
Yeah, doesn't seem many people can do anything with that.
Yeah, you can't do anything with that. So just make it have like a ground bounce to give it more viability. Down triangle. This move is completely useless. Me and Patch were talking about.
Down triangle is what move?
It's the part where he does that little skateboard thrust.
Yeah, kind of like thrusts the skateboard with his feet. It's really hard to balance this move. Maybe like increase startup, but...
What about increasing the vertical hitbox so that it acts kind of like an anti-air?
That would somewhat work. Because it's kind of like, right now, it's really low.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's... and then he raises his little skateboard kind of high above his Poochie feet, and then he launches them.
If it'd be a viable anti-air move.
I mean, he's about as hittable as Drake's slide hitbox, correct? Like he's that low to the ground?
Something like that, yes.
Okay.
How much AP does it build?
30.
So it's good for breaking like Big Daddy's armor and whatnot.
Yeah, but the startup's just really bad. Big Daddy.
Like, so what if they increase the startup then?
Increasing the startup, it would still be pretty useless because it just causes injectable.
Why not? How about making it more like Heihachi's, like I don't even know what it's called, the Dragon Breath or whatever? Making it something like that. Yeah, except making I don't know how you'd be able to combo with that. You wouldn't want to.
You could confirm. Yeah, I mean the recovery isn't bad. The recovery's pretty decent, and you could probably in some cases, if you do it at the right distance, you could kill confirm it.
Right.
But again, it's not viable at all, really.
It's really not a viable move.
Well, that's what I mean. What about making it like, like I said, like the Dragon Breath only, it comes out...
You mean where it crumples them?
No, Dragon's Breath is where wall bounces.
Oh, okay.
Basically, you hit him and cartwheels him. Making it like that, because it does build 30 AP, which is the same as the Dragon's Breath, and that would break, like, for example, Big Daddy's Super Armor. It would be a great Super Armor breaker, and then be able to combo and whatnot.
I mean, that wouldn't be bad. I mean, there's another possible balance change that I just thought of. Possibly give it armor, but that's it. Like, don't do anything else, just give it armor.
Like how much, though? Like 10?
And more than 10. Every move
20,
builds more than 10.
20 is fine. It can give it 20 AP instead, because, actually, it's kind of interesting that all of his skateboard moves give 20 AP, except down triangle. Like, this move, it's just really bad right now. Anything would do, ultimately.
I'd say treat it like his down square, but then it's just a wasted input. It's the same attack.
Yeah, probably just increase the startup would be fine.
Unless you made it like his down square, only more startup than a down square, and it has a 30 AP. So it treats it like that, but it builds, what is it, 10 more AP? I don't know how much his down square builds.
Down square does 20.
So if you made it build 30, it might allow it to break, the better armors, but it'd be slower, so it's a little riskier to use. I think
so ultimately, you're kind of saying it's fine as it is.
No, I'm saying treat it like his down square. Same hit animation. Like when they hit him, you can go into all your combos and whatnot the same way you'd go with your down square. Except it builds 30 AP, so it breaks more armors. That way, against characters like, the Giga Punch, Big Daddy, and whatnot, it has more uses.
It'd be higher risk for higher reward.
Isn't that changing the physics though?
It would be it would, but it's going to be no different from another attack. So if you make the exact same thing as another attack, the animation, it's not going to break it as far as, how it contributes with its other moves.
Because the way I said, like popping it up was going to be just like side square, where it kind of pops them up in the air a little bit. So that wouldn't be.
You'd have to make it more like you'd have to give it the same recovery, so it doesn't.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, that would be fine.
God, Parappa's a hard one to balance, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Like, I've been thinking about this for quite a while, and I really don't know a good way to balance him.
You hear that, people? Don't give him any guff for this. It's hard.
I mean, it's really hard balancing this character. He's pretty balanced overall, but he needs changes. Because especially if they're gonna go with like what everyone else is saying, he needs something.
Well, it's not that he needs something. He just needs to keep up with them if the changes come through. So
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so so do you feel we've comfortably covered his down triangle?
Yeah. Okay. So a way to change his down triangle will be possibly make it charge, and if fully charged, do a guard break. And if you don't guard it, it will just do an eject roll as it usually does. Another one would be kind of like tilt it upward to be like an anti-air kind of thing. Some other stuff would be like, if it's possible, kind of make it like a forward square or like down square. I don't know how much they can do, but that's about it. Those are some ideas they can do to change it.
Alright, so what about the other triangle attacks then?
Okay, so we covered neutral, forward, down, up triangle. Okay, I think this move should be buffed slightly. I think the hitbox should be a little lower. Like, they need to add it to the bottom, because it's like if you're right in front of them and you do up triangle, it whiffs completely. And
even on the taller characters,
it sometimes works on taller characters. I know it works on Sweet Tooth and Raiden and Parappa as well. Yeah, Sweet Tooth just gets the worst of everything. But yeah, it works on characters like those, but everyone else it really doesn't work on. It doesn't work on Dante. It doesn't work on Big Daddy, I think. It doesn't work on like select others. And I feel like if they just lowered it, it would be better.
Let's make it wider, essentially.
Wider and shorter, because it's basically a height issue. It's not a like horizontal issue.
How about any variations of the triangles in the air? Like,
okay, neutral's fine as it is. Up triangle. Oh my god, I'm doing it too. Okay, up triangle. Even okay, so if they don't make the high uppercut jump cancelable, I would say raise the height of up triangle.
You mean the height that he boosts himself?
Yes, it just gives him an advantage.
What about his skateboard dive?
I think skateboard dive is fine as it is, really. It's a dive. I consider it like a dive kick kind of move.
Well, that's exactly what it seems like to me as well.
Yeah, I know. So I just think of it as like a dive kick move.
So
it's supposed to be punishable. Like, I've had some pretty weird suggestions about this, but I ultimately think it's fine as it is.
So that's one of his few moves that you feel is like perfectly do not touch this overall.
Yeah, don't touch it. It's fine as it is.
Okay.
Okay, down triangle. The skateboard like slam down. Just give it horizontal range. That's it. Because it only hits downward. The hitbox is just right below him, and that's it.
So it doesn't even get like the apex of his swing?
Nope, it doesn't hit the apex.
Huh. That's kind of silly.
It's stupid.
Okay. Well, no, that seems pretty fair.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else to say on this patch, the triangle moves?
No, I pretty much agree with what Smash and Crash is saying.
So then with triangle moves covered, how about the circle moves?
Okay, let's see here. I think Mic Grab's fine as it is. I mean, it's got good enough. It's like a risky move, and it's supposed to be a risky move.
High risk, high reward.
Right. Yeah, just like that. Side circle. Patch actually suggested this one.
You know when he does a side circle into an opponent, whether he blocks or it doesn't block, he does that little short hop. Yeah, he does that little backflip. You know, like when he hits the wall, he just like staggers a bit backward. Like say Big Daddy's if he charges into a wall, he like
Clonks.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm thinking like if Parappa hits a blocking opponent, then he could just be on the ground, just like if he hits a wall, instead of getting that short hop. Because maybe the short hop should only be effective when like it actually hits the guy instead of blocks.
How would that affect him though, like overall?
Well, because as soon as he does a side circle, and even if the guy blocks and then counters, Parappa's considered in the air during that flip.
The counter phases through it, and
Right, yeah,
Parappa gets a free hit.
Say Raiden counters his side circle, he'll get launched in the air instead of be on the ground for it.
Parappa gets a free hit off any counter.
Is that only Raiden's counter though? I imagine it'd
No,
probably be
it's Sly's
Dante's.
counter.
Well,
Dante's too, he gets launched in the air.
Dante's
Right.
gets flung in the air. Sly's misses completely, and you just get a free hit.
Yep.
right. I know.
And same
Heihachi's
thing could
okay.
work with everybody, well not everybody, with mainly Raiden. If you do an aerial side circle, and he counters, it completely misses. All you have to do is change direction and side circle him again, and then you get him.
So basically, it'd be adjust the recovery on it so that if he does it on the ground, he gets he gets hit on the ground, correct?
Like
Yeah.
if he hits a blocking opponent, he just like staggers back instead of does that flip. I think the flip should only work if it hits the guy.
So it's basically for the circle move, it should stay pretty much how the way it is. It's just that the moves that it for some reason it ignores should be fixed, correct? Like the counters,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Okay, so down circle, the boombox.
Woo!
Balance wise, it's fine because it's something like it's not like he gets it personally. He doesn't personally get 35 AP.
Right.
You know, it's up for grabs.
It's
whoever knocks him out.
it's in my opinion, it's probably the best example of risk and reward. You throw it out there and you risk your opponent getting all that AP instead of you.
It also
Yeah.
It also balances some of the stronger zoners, makes them have to come to you rather than just trying
stay
to
out
approach
there.
them like Isaac and whatnot. So
It works pretty well against zoners. It doesn't work all the time. It does the job well, yes.
It brings people to you for the most part. You throw it out there.
A little bit of pressure on him. That
Yeah.
way you can try to get a combo out of him.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's also good for setups as well.
And in twos, it's a great assist move. And once again, it also falls into the same line of the other two people might risk, might steal it from you. So
Yeah, I think it's a good move overall.
okay, let's try the other boombox then, the up circle.
Okay, this one was a little hard to balance. We were thinking to increase the hitbox size. Just make it a little bigger because it's just stupid small right now.
Put in the boom and boombox.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
like-
huge.
Like you have to be literally touching certain characters to up circle them, because if you're decently close enough where you think it'll hit, it just phases them.
I always thought it was more of an anti-air anyway, being an up circle. That's how I always treated it, or thought of it.
So it's not that great. It's just barely It just somewhat surrounds Parappa. I feel like it should extend a little more outward.
You mean outwards, upwards, or outwards?
Horizontal wise. I think vertical wise it's pretty
It's kind of
good.
a circle attack, so if they can increase it horizontal, they'd have to increase it circle too. Otherwise, the animation looks silly.
We were thinking if they increase it, they should just put it to 20 instead of 30.
Why is that?
No, that seems-
Okay, so you just
Well, I mean, if
compensate
it
for
has
the large
more
hit.
range, then it has more viability to hit people. So instead
We're
of getting 30 over and over, it would be probably better if you just got 20 out of it.
Because then we were afraid it's going to be too good if they make it too big.
Alright, fair enough. So compensate for less AP for a bigger hitbox, making it
Right.
easier to hit with, but get less out of it. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this move is basically only used literally on stage-specific places, is it not?
And Smash's wall combo uses
Yeah, I use it for wall combos and usually to end with an AP burst.
That, or if you're ever in a 2v2 and your partner's getting comboed, it's good to try to ruin their combo with the up circle.
But the issue, like you were saying before, is the range is kind of sad that if you attempt that, it's
So
just
sometimes it doesn't even work when you try to interrupt someone's combo if your partner's getting hit.
Yeah.
So it would be best to just increase the hitbox for it.
okay. And the recovery is pretty fair for what the move does, correct?
Yeah, it's
the
a definitely
recovery's perfectly fine.
it's like a get off me kind of move.
Right. Or if they bait it, then you should eat it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any air variations of these moves that would differ from the ground ones that you feel like we should talk about?
The air versions are pretty much the same thing as the ground versions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Only they're in the
same
air.
thing with just increasing the hitbox for the aerial up circle because it's literally the same thing.
Okay. What about
Yeah,
what about the air forward circle? Like, would you want how would you do the recovery for that one? Since we went over only just the ground one.
He does a flip in the air too, right? If he
Yeah,
hits something in the
He
air.
does the flip as well. Make the flip a little shorter, I think.
In the air?
Yeah. So they'll just fall on the ground.
Okay. That works.
Okay, I'd also like to mention Parappa's loop. So, this loop it can be pretty dangerous because if you don't have a level 1, you can gain as much AP as you can until you get like a level 3, and they just get wasted or destroyed, killed, you know.
Right. Could you explain how the loop is done?
Okay, so if you're at a specific distance from the wall, so first you start off with a forward throw, then you jump, do like a high jump, do a neutral triangle, do a jump in the air, mic grab, neutral triangle, do a like a low jump, mic grab, neutral triangle, and on the ground do mic grab into forward throw, and keep doing it until you get as much as you want.
So you obviously want to remove this loop, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so how would you remove this loop then?
It's kind of hard to remove because the way the moves work. If I do one thing, it would probably make the move either garbage or really powerful. So I think the best way to do it would be to nerf the cooldown. Like add more cooldown to his air neutral triangle. That way he can't double jump and do the second part. Because without it would be, you couldn't do it at all.
Okay, and nerfing his second jumps wouldn't ruin his other combos that use the neutral skateboard, right?
He has like one or two, but like they're really not that useful.
So it's just basically it just removed that one option for that, but it's for the overall health of the game, right?
Yeah, and I don't even think those combos work half the time, so just add cooldown and everything will be fine.
Alright, so moving on to supers then.
Okay, so let's start with his level 1.
His level 1 costs how much?
It costs 125.
Okay.
125. So I think this move is pretty useful at times, but it's also pretty bad. It's really good for like anti-airs. Like when you make the kill, you wanna like do it when they're in the air because it has the hitbox of it. Yeah, it's that effect that makes it really good against like people trying to come at you. Balance wise, I think it's pretty fun as it is. I mean, especially with confirms, because a lot of it confirms against the wall, and ones that don't confirm against the wall are either character specific or really, really hard to pull off. So, there are like tons of ways to do it, to combo into it, especially against the wall. I think those are really rewarding, because like, the timing on it can be really hard.
No, I pretty much agree with wall confirms for the most part. If you manage to get your opponent the proper spacing against the wall, you should be able to do what you want to them against the wall.
Yeah, because mic grabbing after a wall bounce can be really hard at times, and you want to do that when you kill confirm. Like some ways to get in is to do air neutral triangle and to hit the wall, and you do mic grab immediately. Do another triangle and then just kill them.
Right, and if you miss the mic grab, you can eat it, or they just get away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like it's really rewarding, and I think the move's fine as it is.
Alright, go from that, let's go on to level 2. Anything you would do to this move are perfectly fine.
Level 2. It's just an insta-kill for the most part. Stallers have a really good chance of getting out of it, or like people with good like mind games, because if you just raw it, it's all about mind games. Because there are ways to get out of a level 2, like not getting hit at all.
But that seems mostly up to player skill, so it's not really a balance issue.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's perfectly fine as it is. I know people say like bring the time back. I personally think it's fine. Yeah, it used to last a second longer. At first I was thinking maybe extend it to like give it half a second more, but it really just doesn't make a difference, so they don't really need to touch it at all. It's fine.
And level 3 is...
Okay.
Gotta believe.
Oh god. This move is really stupid useless. It's just wasting all your meter. Some balance changes I thought would be pretty viable was just kind of mentioned in the Heihachi and Spike podcast. If you do a level 3, you lose 15% of your AP. I think that's pretty balanced.
The only issue I have with that is if you do it in a multiples match, like a free for all or a 2, that's a lot of AP dropped.
But at the end,
That's very
everyone
character
respawned.
dependent though too.
Like he also he's in that like little mic animation, kind of like holding that peace sign until everyone respawns. So it's fair game for everyone.
Mm.
But there's this other idea I had. I don't know if they get implemented, but oh my god, it would be nice if they did. So you know how the Parappa games are, right?
Oh god, the buttons.
Yeah. So I was thinking of making it kind of like a little mini game. So 15, 10, 5, 0. Yeah,
That'd
something.
be awesome if they did that.
Yes, it's just an idea I had. I feel like it'd be really cool.
They have to bring something from this game.
I know there's like nothing from this game in there at all.
Well, that might
Boombox.
be incredibly difficult to, implement, but
It's just an idea.
how about something like along the lines of like what we came up with Sackboy, where like if items are on, that's completely viable. If items are off, it just gives always a flat 10.
I'd be fine with that.
Would that be fine with you, Patch?
Yeah, that would be fun with me.
Okay.
I just feel like it'd be something fun to do. Instead
No,
of
no,
just-
I understand.
Yeah.
More hilariously, they could have just given it the Parappa the Rappa 1 timing. Make that shit impossible.
I know. They could. That would actually be really fun because I do pretty well at that game.
Oh yeah.
But off topic.
Alright, so what kind of glitches does Parappa have?
Oh man, he's got some interesting glitches.
Oh god.
When he does his mic grab online, sometimes they like
It just
recover like on the farthest where his mic travels.
it just drops completely.
Yeah, it's
It's
really weird.
probably
Like,
another
even the aerial mic grab still does it. Like sometimes
both-
I'm doing my combos, and then when I do the mic grab, all of a sudden when I do the final part the neutral squares, all of a sudden they're not even in the combo anymore. They're like underneath me.
So basically, the mic causes desyncs then, just minor desyncs.
Yeah.
Not only, you'll see that with like every character with kind of like a rope grab kind of thing.
So it
So
seems like
it's-
it's more of a...
Yeah, I guess that would explain Nariko as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Naruto has the same problem. I'm well aware of that. Also, when you do mic grab, this is another netcode thing. Like, if you don't do anything, they kind of teleport away from you. Like, if I mic grab you, you're right in front of me, but like a second later, you're like 2 rolls away from me or something like that. 1 or 2 rolls.
So what I'm hearing basically though is that mic grab has some pretty obvious desyncing issues online.
Yes. Okay, so his boombox. This is a netcode issue. Sometimes when you throw the boombox down, it doesn't generate AP at all, which is a waste.
Wow.
So you don't get anything out of it. It's just sitting there playing Google
Nice.
Feet, and you don't get anything.
Oh boy.
What else is there? His neutral triangle. If you hit it in the right angle, you get hit in the opposite direction. Really stupid. You have to do it right, though. That should definitely be taken out.
So this one's a definite hitbox issue then.
It's probably a hitbox issue. If you do this air side square, it also has desyncing issues.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll do like the long uppercut, wait a little while till they're like really low on the ground, and do air side square, and it kind of looks really weird on their screen, but it looks fine on mine.
Man, Parappa's got some... so Parappa's more buggy than we thought, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes his AP, his combos will prematurely AP burst. Yes.
So, what's the average for premature bursting for Parappa then? Like 70 or 80?
80 or 90. So, sometimes when you do the shoulder tackle, which is his side square, it'll go through people, and you won't hit them at all.
Wow.
And there's somewhat slight handcuffing during both the shoulder tackle and the side circle, which is pretty weird.
I didn't know he had handcuff glitch too.
It's like a few seconds.
Wow.
They can't get out of it. Like, I don't know the proper term for something like this, but I'll explain it. So, like, I kind of move forward and they move with me, but they don't get hit. It's a netcode thing, really.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Okay, this one I actually figured out a long time ago, but it was brought up recently. When Parappa runs and does his slide kick, he boosts forward quite a bit.
So he just takes the momentum of the run with him?
Yes.
Oh god, the flying Dacus.
You can actually do that with his up throw as well, because usually if you do a regular up throw without moving anywhere, you can't follow up with an up circle. But if you run into the guy and do an up throw, you slide during the throw a bit, and then all of a sudden you have range to do the up circle. I mean, it's not really viable, but like it's there.
Actually, doing the sliding, like going even further, if you hit it at the last minute, you can combo that the side square. But again, it's not viable. Okay, these are glitches in his supers.
Mm-hmm.
So this is similar to what happens to Spike and a bunch of other people. So like if they get hit out of it before the super really starts, you kind of get hit out of it, and your meter, you just waste all of your meter. The meter drain will like still go, and then at the very end, you'll do his ending animation out of nowhere. So if you hit him kind of during or slightly before it, as soon as like when he launches the level 2, you hit him out of it, the meter will still burn. You lose that level 2, and you'll get the ending animation when the meter's done. When time's up, basically.
Similar to that, if you're ever on a map where there's a gap where you fall into and then you get stunned, if you fall down it during your level 2, like your level 2 ends, but like it doesn't show the bar going down, but when it would officially end, you do the jump off animation again.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely an oversight.
Yeah.
Also, this one's a very, very minor, but during his level 3, the volume just drops completely. It's just so low.
Huh.
Like you can barely hear it, and then it'll just go back to normal volume.
Yeah, I'm so bummed when that happens. I'm like, I got level 3, I want to hear his awesome song, and then like I hear nothing. I was like, oh.
That's an online thing.
No. Yeah. Okay. It's still worth mentioning though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
now we've covered all of the glitches.
Isn't there one?
All of the minor glitches.
Isn't there one super Doom-esque one?
Alright, so this is called the Doombox glitch because a man named Doombox found this out. So,
Don't you mean a dog? A dog named Doombox?
I'm sorry. And it just a dog named Doombox found this out. Okay, so it's called board canceling. If you do it on the ground, your skateboard will kind of blip forward a little bit. You'll see it for like a second. It'll come back to you, and it'll give you the ability to reflect projectiles while guarding. So it's not as bad as the air version, though. The air version, if you do it right, you can walk on the air.
I believe I can fly.
You can walk on the air. You can do everything, every grounded move in the air. You can do your supers in the air. You can combo in the air. You can do ground combos in the air.
Wow.
The whole shebang. Everything that you can do on the ground in the air. And if you do down throw in the air, you'll do what's called an infinite down state where you can't get up at all. There's nothing you can do, and Parappa can just boombox his way to level 3. Or just level 2 because you can still get hit.
Wow.
But it has to be you have to do like a slide or something like that.
That's intense.
Yes, it is completely game breaking.
What do you think causes this? This one seems like a real pickle to try to figure out, since you can't obviously, alright, just take this out, since it has to have a cause. Does the neutral triangle have some sort of special property?
It does, actually. They really need to look into this. Just ultimately look into his neutral triangle and how it behaves.
Okay.
That's all I can really say.
Alright. No, that's definitely worth mentioning. Holy hell.
Yes, doing grounded moves in the air is just really
busted.
cheap. Yeah, it honestly makes Parappa one of the most broken characters ever.
Broken and buggy.
Even more broken than Cat.
Oh, that's a feat.
It is.
Okay, so could you wrap everything up for us in a nice dog-shaped package?
Okay, so in general, Parappa doesn't need too many changes. He's pretty well balanced, but definitely nerf his uppercut. Even out the AP gain on his 1,000 punches and 1,000 kicks. Increase the recovery on block with his 1,000 kicks. Buff his triangle moves definitely, make them more viable. Circle moves are ultimately fine, but the only real move I can think of buffing is side circle and up circle.
Right, and with up circle it'd be increase the range and like to balance
And
that
then
out with
the AP down to 20.
correct.
Yeah, for the best balancing.
Okay. And then the most important glitches.
Okay, so definitely what I explained
The
about
Doombox glitch. Board
Doombox.
canceling.
Yes, board canceling. Definitely need to look into that neutral triangle and how it behaves. Definitely, you could look into the skateboard swing, kind of hitting in the other direction. Look into like how his momentum is when he does his down square, because that's kind of odd. And look into like how like he behaves online.
Especially with the desyncing, correct?
Yeah,
the
definitely.
whole mic grab and stuff.
Mic grab, shoulder tackles, side circle, and the flying kick, which is air side square. Also, you should remove the loop by increasing the cooldown on his neutral triangle in the air. So, two other things I'll just mention real quick. Make sure to look into how his level 2 behaves, like when he gets hit during the level or before the level 2.
Right.
When he does the little, startup thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just fix the sound on the level 3. Like, just, raise the volume. It shouldn't be that hard to do.
Or fix whatever it causes to make it drop.
The last thing I want to mention is the throw. I mean, it's not really like any combo, but throw combo specifically, prematurely bursting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I understand though. This character was, for the most part, pretty balanced in the way he was. It just had some real, he has some pretty glaring bugs.
He's deceptive. He's deceptively broken.
He's a stealth bug.
Yeah, it's mostly like no one really knows about this stuff because, I mean, he's kind of the underdog.
Oh my god.
Yes, I had to say that.
Oh my god.
He's definitely the underdog of this game.
Okay. And with that, I think we've easily wrapped up our Parappa podcast. Remember, guys, share this podcast with other Parappa players, people who are curious about this character, where he stands, because we have, these podcasts are meant to inform people by getting players who have spent months of their time with this character, figuring out how they work, bugs, issues with them, etc., etc. And so, pretty much, these players take their time to, come on these podcasts and tell the community about what's going on with this character, with stuff that they feel that should require getting tweaked and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was me, Domino SMK.
CJ So Suave.
cjc1922.
Smash and crash.
Yep, and we'll catch you guys next time.
You gotta believe.
Oh god.
Perfect.
Oh god.
Man, CJ, you alright?
Wow.